Hello and welcome to the read along. The title of this book is One Chair, One Reality: The Key to Faith and Dominion That Works, written by Donna Eve. I am Donna Eve, and I'm so glad you were led here to be with me today. It is my voice you'll hear throughout this read along. So let's begin. Story: One Chair in Action. There was a woman who wanted to attend a church convention she had always enjoyed. Money was tight, and the convention was only 3 weeks away. After church one Sunday, she went to a committee table and put her name on a list for anyone needing transportation to the convention. She didn't know if anything would come of it, but she chose to sign up. A few days later, a committee member called her. Some seats had opened up on the bus. Was she still interested? She said yes. She accepted the ticket, thanked the sister, and began planning her trip. The next day at work, she submitted her leave request for the convention weekend. It was approved. The following week, her manager announced a change in the inventory schedule. They needed all hands on deck that weekend. Everyone was scheduled to work overtime. The woman went home and prayed. She felt settled in her spirit. This convention was what she truly wanted. The next day, she went to the grocery store. Now came the question: what should she buy? Should she buy lunch items to prepare for working overtime or snacks to pack for the bus trip? Faith without works is dead. Only one reality can live. Where would she place her vote? Where would she give her attention? When Plan B takes the chair. Now, here is where something commonly mistaken for maturity appears: Plan B. This woman knew Plan B well. In fact, she had practiced it most of her life. So instead of choosing supplies for her trip, she decided to buy for both: snacks for the bus trip and lunches to prepare for overtime. When she returned home, she called the transportation committee member and released her seat on the bus. She explained that if someone was driving, or if she could only attend on Sunday and not the full weekend, she would take a carpool ride to the convention. The committee member said that was fine, and she would allow her to keep the ticket until she secured a carpool seat. At this point, notice what is happening. She had prayed to attend the entire convention, then her actions began to support a different outcome. Without saying it out loud, she was forming a new choice. Plan B: work overtime and attend part of the convention if possible. Sounds logical, right? From the perspective of faith mechanics, two realities were now competing for the same chair. One, attending the full convention. Two, attending part of the convention. This mirrors the story of Abraham believing for the promise, but then trying to help it along by creating a second pathway with his maid. The intention was sincere, but the decision wobbled. Once two options are supported by action, neither is fully seated. What matters here is awareness. Maybe Plan B is a great choice. Maybe she's a new hire and prefers to work. Maybe she doesn't like buses and prefers carpool. Maybe she didn't have enough internal confidence for Plan A. None of this matters. What matters is this. The authority required for Plan A to manifest was withdrawn the moment another option was supported with action. The woman cannot blame God. She prayed Plan A, but through her actions, her works, she supported Plan B. Can the enemy interfere? Possibly. The enemy may have interfered by presenting the work problem situation. What matters is what the woman did next. She examined her desire honestly and realized she truly wanted to attend the convention. So she acted in alignment with that outcome. She kept the snacks for the bus. She washed her church clothes, not her work clothes. She read scripture in the evenings to keep her mind from drifting into doubt. She did not release her bus ticket. She did not argue or discuss working overtime with her coworkers. She simply refused to give the idea of working that weekend any credence. It received no seat. On Thursday evening, the manager announced that there was a problem with the incoming shipment. Inventory would be rescheduled for the following week. The woman went to her supervisor, reminded her of the previous approved leave, and everything was confirmed. She went on the bus trip as planned. What changed? The obstacle didn't move because she forced it. It shifted because it never held the seat. Alternatives appeared, pressure showed up, none of it had authority. The difference between Plan A manifesting and Plan A dissolving wasn't worthiness or intensity, it was decision, the seat, and the attention, the works. She stayed aligned, the system responded. Here's the lesson. Interference may appear, but it cannot decide the outcomes. Your dominion does, and so does your actions. Faith doesn't require pretending challenges don't exist. It simply requires you refusing to let them sit in the chair. Lesson 4 keys. Only your decision can seat the outcome. Plan B gains power only when you support it with actions. Whatever you feed becomes the seated reality. Aligned actions keep Plan A in the chair. Even small, consistent steps reinforce the chosen outcome. Challenges don't require denial. They simply must not receive the seat.